Good morning to everybody. First of all, second of all, I gotta touch down on some major realities, man, when it comes to misery, when it comes to hate, okay? A lot of people like to run their mouths from a safe standpoint, homie. Okay, now the people that talk shit in the comment section, they'll say things like, oh man, and this is in regards to me, right? They'll be like, hey, you've been on the streets your whole life, bro. You lived in cars and shit, man. You ain't never had your own pad, woo, woo, woo. But they themselves have families, homie, and foundations. They weren't on the streets from a young age on, homie, trying to build a foundation from the ground up themselves, okay? But they talk shit. And I'm sitting here, it's crazy, bro, because I got to check my patience. Homie, I got to check my temper, okay? Because when it comes to misery and creepy individuals that have no point to their existence, that see an individual growing and excelling from the ground up, who doesn't have the same lavish luxuries, the same backup, the same reinforcements, the same basically convenience, I mean, that a lot of individuals are allotted in life, they'll resent you. Misery requires company. And if they have a lot more handed to them and they're miserable, and they see somebody like me who doesn't have any sane or sober family, and I have a fucking foundation, homie, that I built myself, okay? I was facing a life sentence at one point, you know, but I didn't catch that case. Thank God, homie. We're not going to go into details because that's asking for it, fool. That's like rubbing it in their faces, saying, hey, you didn't catch me, you didn't catch me. They bring some other shit up on you, homie. We don't go into them details. It's the principle. It's the reality of the situation that's paramount. A lot of individuals that are facing 25 to life for the serious felonies, homie, they're going to rat, dog. They're going to break. Okay, they would have ended up caught in that case because they wouldn't have kept their mouth shut, and then everybody involved with them would have went down if they really were guilty of some shit or the allegations against them. They would have kept their mouth shut. Come on, homie, what, 1%, 2% of the individuals would have kept their mouth shut. 98% of people break under that kind of pressure. But it's the individuals in the internet, homie, in the comment sections that run their mouths, that see an individual getting a new ride, they see him building a foundation, they see how many individuals are loyal to the movement. It's pathetic, homie, and they know they can't slide in person because I literally make an example out of individuals that are stupid enough to get themselves all liquored up and filled with meth or pills, whatever they got to do to get themselves feeling all ballsy and slide and make an example out of them. People learn from that, homie. Instead of initiating altercations, instead of starting shit because you're restless and bored, homie, try acquiring the ability when it comes to solving the disputes and issues, homie. Maintain the ability to solve the disputes instead of initiate them. Doesn't that make sense? Why start a bunch of shit that you can't handle when instead you can be capable of handling shit and choose not to start it, homie? That way, when it comes your way, you solve it. You don't kick up as many legalities or legal court cases and fucking, you don't end up rotting for decades, homie, in a cage. I was already facing that for a reason, because of loudmouth lames, homie, that tell themselves that they're tough, fool, and they're not, dog. They're not. They're just like most people in general, presenting that false disposition that, what's up? Yeah, what's up? Oh, well, fuck this fool. I'll do this and that. I'm bigger than him. I've been to prison on a turnaround. I'm tough. That's fucking lame, dog. You motherfuckers, there's a lot of misery. You know what I'm saying? And this message that I give when I speak on misery, it's directed toward the creeps. I mean, the miserable individuals. There are real ones, and you know what time it is for all the real individuals rocking in our movement, on our platform. Much love and respect continuously. I mean, you already know what time it is with us. But when it comes to the miserable creeps, man, I can't be pulling no punches when it comes to relaying reality. This kind of a video can stop a court case from being caught. There could be a miserable creep, homie. You can hate on me all you want, lames. Slide in person, see what happens. Aside from that, do what you're gonna do, dog. But check this out. As long as if a miserable lame sees this video and says, wait a minute, if I feel jealousy and resentment or restless or creepiness and hate, you know what I mean, and animosity towards an individual, and that individual ain't done nothing bad to me, and he's not fucking harming children, he's actually standing against the ones who harm kids, homie, he's standing against evil people in power, and you still feel yourself resent, you know what I mean? You can see a video like this, maybe learn something from it. Maybe I'm a miserable creep. Maybe I just had to have a point to my existence. Maybe I need to stop performing mental gymnastics and grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? If it reaches one miserable creep, and they don't start shit, and people don't catch court cases because of them, and their giant overgrown toddler disposition, then it was all worth it. Also, aside from a miserable creep or two that may see the video, many will see it that have to deal with miserable creeps. You know, misery needs company, man, and majority of individuals in our society are strung out on liquor, Xanax, antidepressants. I'm not saying that, oh, if you have an addiction, nah, for what I'm saying is there's a reason why a majority of people in our society are completely addicted to drugs or alcohol or both, regardless of what they've been allotted in life. Because our society's encouraging us to complicate life, to repeat our mistakes, to hyper-focus on the meaningless life aspects. That's why you have haters running their mouths in the comment section that don't even live in your damn city, that don't even slide in person, because they ain't got a goddamn life, homie. They ain't got no discipline. And they keep spiraling deeper into their misery, homie. When they see an individual that does the opposite, they develop an allergic reaction to that shit, oh. You know, they break out in spiritual hives. You know, you don't have to be a miserable creep. You don't have to hate on a motherfucker that isn't. You know, you exhibit a bit of discipline and focus. You lames can fucking tell yourselves whatever you want. But I've already been in the situations. I'm already on the block continuously in the real world, homie. You're in your mind, dog. You're working based upon opinions, not first-hand experience. That's the kind of shit that gets you in a fucking wreck. Because that type of thought process is going to translate, homie. You ain't going to only fucking hate on me for being fucking solution-based. You're going to end up hating on every realistic motherfucker that exhibits a bit of logic, homie, alongside throughout your life, bro. That's why people resent individuals that exhibit logic and intellect, homie, because they don't have any. You know what I'm saying? And there's no excuse for we can all educate ourselves a little bit. Okay? There's evil people in power, dog. Poverty and gangs don't manifest from thin air. And when you realize society utilizes gang members and immigrants and people from the hood and minorities as scapegoats and villainizes and it demonizes them, even though majority of all the sexual acts being perpetrated against children are really committed by the other types of individuals, not gangsters or immigrants, when you start to identify these world-destroying cycles, you start to develop solutions regarding them. But it takes giving a fuck, homie. And all these hateful, jealous fucking creeps that talk shit in the comment section on another man's channel, let alone video, bruh. They're not identifying them cycles. They're puppets. They're the ones that keep those cycles going. They're the ones those evil creeps in power rely upon. So don't be one of them puppets, homie. Get a life, grow up, dog. You see us financially progressing where you couldn't, homie. Don't hate. You know what I'm saying? You know, alongside them finances comes the necessary resources, homie. I'm not even going to go into detail. But if you see me putting resources aside and you can see me having a new crib, homie, you know what I'm saying? I might not own the pad, homie, but it's a nice pad and I live there, homie. And it's mine, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's just as much as mine as the other people who live there. You know what I'm saying? Also, you see the new ride. I mean, you see that I don't brag about that or glorify them financial aspects. I was never about that shit. It just materializes, it manifests. And I'm not going to hide it for them. I'm going to be transparent so people know that you can get ahead. You can have a point to your existence for when you can financially progress and you can do what's right, homie. You don't got to be a miserable lame like these motherfuckers you see comment in the comment sections, staying at the grandmammy's pad, telling themselves that they're tough, homie, in their stupid-ass fucking mind, homie, filled with misery and restlessness. That's creepy.